Hi yogis, welcome to Yoga with Mesa. Welcome to your 30-minute yin yoga class for upper body. If you are feeling sore or tight in the upper body, especially your chest, your shoulders, and your triceps, then this class is going to be wonderful for you. I really recommend that you grab a couple of blocks, and if you don't have any blocks, you can reach for books, or you can even make this work if you find a fluffy pillow or even a sleeping pillow. You can fold it in half. And then it's never a bad idea to have a bolster or another big fluffy pillow in your space as well. But I will be cueing a pose with the blocks today. If you don't have any, I will offer you modification. So let's go ahead and begin in child's pose at the back of our mats. Allow your knees to come out wide, big toes come to touch, and then we'll just slide the hands forward, melt your chest towards your mat, forehead towards your mat. Keep in mind that class today is yours. This is your time on your mat, and my words are only ever a suggestion. So be kind to yourself today and give yourself the space and the patience and the compassion that you need. Remember that you know your body better than anyone else. So trust that when your body is asking for more or less sensation, that it knows what it's talking about. When you arrive in your child's pose, let's take a big breath in through the nose, so filling all the way up with air. And an open mouth exhale settles you deeper into your mat. Again, breathe in. Let it go through the mouth. One more time, full breath in, rib cage expanding. And emptying. Allow your inhales and your exhales to soften. Allow your hips to grow a little deeper, a little heavier. Maybe you crawl your fingertips out a little farther in front of you as you sit the sit bones back towards your heels a little more. Can you let go just 1% more in this posture? Remembering that in yin yoga, we want to find that comfortable discomfort. So not something that's painful, but it's not necessarily comfortable either. That's how we push ourselves, we find our edge, and we build resilience. So keeping that in mind throughout your practice, never exceeding if you're feeling pinching, burning, or stinging. In fact, coming out if you do feel that. But looking for that edge of comfortable discomfort, where the sensation is deep but manageable. With that in mind, let's begin to move into our next asana. So looking forward, press yourself up, and we'll come to our tabletop. So your hands are going to come underneath your shoulders and your knees are going to come underneath your hips. In your tabletop, make your fingers nice and wide, and we're just going to show the spine a little bit of love. So breathing in, roll your shoulders back, tilt your tailbone high, and breathing out, tilt your tailbone down and bring your chin to your chest as you round your back. And do that a couple more times with your breath. Very slow movement so we can try to ease the nervous system into a calm state. Beautiful. And then we'll find stillness. And walking your knees in together, sit your hips back onto your knees. If you are someone who this is very deep in sensation on the knees for, then you can slide a block or maybe even 2 blocks or a pillow underneath your sit bones, and that should relieve some of that tension from the knees. Next, we're going to reach the hands behind us, interlace the hands. Option to press palms together if you have that availability, or maybe the palms are still separate. You also have the option to reach for opposite elbows, or just simply press your hands into the earth behind you if you can't access the opposite hand. And then wherever you are, just see how that feels across the chest, across the shoulders. And then we'll begin to press the heart forward, draw the shoulders back, feel that sensation across the chest. Elbows are driving down, hands are driving down and back. Let the eyes soften and tap into whatever you're feeling here. Remember those soft breaths. And can you notice if you're being kind to yourself in this moment, or perhaps if there are judgmental thoughts starting to enter your practice? Am I doing this right? How long do I have to do this for? I shouldn't have said that today. What kind of thoughts are entering the mind? If they are negative or if they're positive, can you bring your awareness to your breath instead? So instead of trying to change our thoughts, we can just move our awareness to somewhere else. Train our minds to focus on what we want to focus on, starting with the breath and starting with sensation. So whenever you feel that beautiful mind start to wander, as all of our minds do, just lovingly guide it back to your breath. Breathing in, filling with love and patience, and breathing out any discomfort, any distraction. And let's take a couple more breaths here. Beautiful. We'll begin to release the hands, let them come out in front of you. And then we're going to move into our puppy pose. So for our puppy pose, you'll come back up onto the hands and knees, and you've got a couple of options here. So the first option is just getting into the chest and the shoulders, which already can be pretty intense on its own. And keeping the hips stacked over your knees, we'll slide the hands forward, melt the heart down, melt the chest down, forehead down, and feel that deepening into shoulders and chest. Another option is if you're feeling tight in the triceps and you want to give them a nice stretch, a nice opening, you can bring your blocks or books or a pillow in front of you. I'm going to start mine on that low setting. And then you'll walk your elbows over the top of your blocks and then melt your heart down. And then see how it feels to bring your palms together and invite a bend into your elbows as the forehead melts down towards the earth. And the more you bend the elbows, the deeper that stretch will become. And remember that you're never stuck. So if you go in too deep, you always have the option to come out of the pose entirely or lessen sensation. And if you want to go in deeper, you always have the option to add layers as well. But once you find something sustainable for you, I invite you to resolve to be still by coming back to your breath, taking a deep breath in, and a cleansing breath out. We'll soften here for a couple of minutes. With every exhale, softening a little bit more, growing a little bit heavier, and letting go of anything that's not serving you. Let it go with this breath. begin to just let your body know that it's almost time to move, but it's not quite time to move yet. So we're just letting our nervous systems know so our body can prepare rather than letting our mind determine what we do before we even realize what we're doing. We tell the body in advance, and this will keep that nervous system calm, which is the intention of our yin. Calm mind, calm body, calm spirit allows us to go deeper into it all and release even more. And this isn't to say that we have to feel any certain way either. By practicing this calmness, it's just remaining calm no matter what we're feeling. So it's okay if you're feeling any anger, any sadness, or joy. We're not trying to control emotions. We're just doing our best to remain calm and regulated as these emotions rise and fall and ebb and flow in our body. And so take one final breath in and a softening breath out. And gently, if you had the elbows bent, begin to unbend them. Press yourself up off of your blocks and walk your hands back. We're going to come back onto our heels like we were before we went into our puppy pose. Just allow your triceps to soften if you had them in that deep bend. Allow the blood to flow back in. Let your hands rest. Let's take a few breaths here in this neutral space. Beautiful breath in. Healing and loving and self-accepting breath out. Maybe you even invite a soft smile onto your face. Perhaps there's no one around you. Maybe there's even someone next to you in your practice. What if you just let those corners of your mouth rise up on either side and gave yourself permission to enjoy, to let it feel good, to tap into that place of joy within you, something we all have access to. And if you are so resistant to smiling, that's okay too. Honor whatever it is that you're feeling. If your body is really wanting to resist that smile, then what is it that you need to dive into? Maybe you're feeling a pain. Maybe you're afraid to feel joy. If we feel joy, maybe there's that fear that it has to come to an end. This is something I've worked through in my own practice. We can't just not feel joy because we know that sadness or anger or whatever other feelings will inevitably come again. So there's that fear of that hurt or that joy ending. But if we don't allow ourselves to feel it, then we're going to just feel a lot of negativity in our lives. So what if, just for this moment, you don't have to, but you allowed yourself, you gave yourself that permission to smile. And let's take one more round of breath in silence. Beautiful. If you had the eyes closed, we'll gently flutter them open. And next, let's go down onto our bellies. So if you had any blocks in front of you, we'll scooch them off to the side. And then come down onto your belly, just coming all the way down, hips, belly, chest. And we'll start in our Sphinx Pose. We'll just be here for a few breaths, so not too long. Elbows have that number 11 shape. The forearms have that number 11 shape. Elbows are energetically drawing back, and you want to find that length in your spine and that compression in your lower back. Shoulders drawing back, press the heart forward. Good, and then if you're craving a little bit more, perhaps you begin to press into the palms as the elbows rise up. Feel a little more compression in the low back. Stay with your breath. Deep breath in once more. And exhale, release. Beautiful. Next, we're going to find our shoulder opener, chest opener, and spinal twist. I love this posture. It's a great way to help roll the shoulders back, open the heart up, especially if you have recently worked out, you're feeling really tight in that area, or if you tend to maybe do a lot of sitting at your desk or on the couch and just kind of have those shoulders rolled forward a lot. So we'll begin with the left arm cactus. So you bend that elbow, elbows in line with the shoulder as best you can. And if this is too intense, this is our most sensational option with the bent elbow. To lessen sensation as we get into the pose, I'll show you before we go in, you can extend the arm, and then for even less sensation, that arm will start to pivot towards the body, and that will take less and less sensation out of where you'll begin to feel this stretch. So I'm going to start with the cactus arm, and then we'll bend the right knee, guide your right foot over towards the left side of your space so you're twisting the spine. That right hand is pushing into the earth to help deepen your twist, and that left ear is resting on your mat. You should start to feel some deep sensation pretty soon here. And remember, you can always adjust the angle of your arm. So if this bend is too much, then I invite you to extend your arm. Come out and extend it. And if that's too much, start to pivot the hand closer to your body. So tick-tocking it down. And then when you find your depth, your comfortable discomfort, let's take a deep breath in. And exhale to relax into it as best you can. Soft breaths. And if you're struggling to breathe, if the breath is becoming too shallow, that's a sign from the body that maybe you should come out a bit. Maybe we are going in a little bit too intense. Soft breath. Long inhales, longer exhales. Soft inhales, softer exhales. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Breathing in, Breathing out, can you soften a little more? And again, breathe in, create some space. Breathe out. And ever so kindly, softly, lovingly, gently, all the ways, ever so, we're going to unravel patiently, coming to center, and then we'll meet in on our bellies, and if it's available in your body, we're just going to extend the arms overhead. Let them flush out overhead. And then you can either keep your chin lifted or maybe let your chin rest, your forehead rest, or one of your cheeks. So kind of this lazy Superman, just gently stretched out. Nothing to accomplish here, nothing to be done. You're already doing it. Just give yourself that permission to relax for these few breaths. Let your body grow heavier as you exhale. Okay, remember you can stay here as long as you need. My words are just a guide. But when you're ready, or if you're ready to move on, we'll scooch over to the other side. So this time that right arm is going to extend out to the side, doing your best to keep the elbow in line with the shoulder. And you can either have that arm bent, cactus, or straight, depending on what you need. And then we'll bend the left knee, guide your left fingertips to the earth, and peel your heart off of your mat. Beautiful. Until that left foot comes over towards the right side of your space. And then you want that right ear to rest gently on the earth or maybe a pillow or block. And that left hand, if you have the space, maybe it stays in front of you, maybe it wraps behind you for the lower back. No right or wrong there with the left arm, just do what suits you. And keep in mind, it is natural for those deep sensations or emotions to come up in this really deep chest and shoulder opener. So whatever you're feeling, it's okay to feel it. Maybe it's showing up as anger or tears, sadness, joy, whatever it may be. Maybe you don't have words to express what this feeling is, but it's okay. And I invite you to breathe into whatever is there for you without labeling it good or bad. It just is. It is what it is, and that's okay. Honor it. Show it the same compassion you would give a child who is feeling some big feelings. Take about 3 more breaths here. Very slow, very mindful, soft breaths. Final beautiful breath in. And is there anywhere else that you can soften and relax as you exhale? Beautiful. Gently, if you had that left hand bound, we'll begin to reach it up and unravel, bringing your heart back towards the earth. And then just for a few breaths, we'll go ahead and extend gently the arms out in front of us. You can also choose to let them rest down by your sides, whatever is calling to you. This is your space, your practice, your body, your heart, your mind, your soul. It's all yours. Let it be enjoyed, whatever you choose. One more breath here. Beautiful. And when you're ready, we'll bring the hands back by our sides. Press into your palms and rise up. Shifting your hips onto your knees, coming into your hero's pose. Bring your hands back behind your hips, interlacing. Maybe notice if you have a little bit more space there this time. And if you'd like, maybe the palms come closer together. When you're ready, take that breath in, press your heart forward, draw your shoulders back, chin to the sky. And if you'd like, you can stay here, or if you want to explore something new, start to melt your heart forward. Bring your forehead towards your mat as you press your hands towards the front of your space, getting really deep into that front body space, the chest and shoulders. Let your forehead melt perhaps onto a block, to your knees, or to your mat. And we'll just be here for 3 very slow breaths. Beautiful. Begin to gently rise up, come back to your hero's pose. Allow your eyes to soften closed. And then option to bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. And we got really deep into that front body today and stimulating the vagus nerve a lot, running all across the chest. So I want to just take this time before we close our practice to soften inwards, to witness the breath and to witness whatever we may have triggered to come up to the surface. And just offer it that loving compassion again that you would offer a child, maybe even imagining a younger you or you as a child. That might make it easier to be compassionate and kind towards whatever you're experiencing. So take a couple of soft breaths, watching the rib cage expand and contract as you fill with air and as you empty of air. Before we seal our practice, just take note on if there's anything that you may have learned about yourself today, without labeling it good or bad, of course. Just taking note and allowing that lesson to integrate throughout the rest of your day, your night, your week, your month, your year, your life. Let's close practice by bringing our hands to our heart space, pressing your thumbs firmly into the heart, feeling your beautiful heart beating with life, and feeling the rise and fall of your chest with every breath. Take one final breath in through the nose. Fill up. Open mouth, exhale, let it all go. Guide your thumbs to your third eye center, a place of intuition and connection with all of your fellow beings. May you be at peace, may you be at ease, and may you awaken to your own true nature. All of my love. Namaste. Thank you, yogis, so much for joining me today. Thank you for taking this time to show up on your mat and give yourselves the beautiful care that you absolutely deserve. Thank you for doing your best to be kind to yourself as well throughout your practice. And if you were harsh on yourself, give yourself a little break. That's part of that practicing compassion process. I hope you did enjoy your practice. If you did, please feel free to like, subscribe, and leave any comments with suggestions of videos you'd like for me to make for you in the future. And I would be happy to look at those and maybe entertain them. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or nights. Again, all of my love.